Were you business minded the whole time when you came in? Because to get your master's back in 7 years, that's 7-year reversion, right? Mm-hmm. Most people get 12. Was that because you was hot already? Or you just had a good lawyer that knew that this was gonna be a good idea for you to have your master's back in the long run?
Well, I'm not gonna lie and say I was business minded. I wasn't. I mean, but I wanted to be. I think I was as business minded as I could be at 20 years old. At 20 years old, coming into a business that I had absolutely I didn't even know how to make albums, let alone how to negotiate. Come on, man, I took a $1 million deal with Tommy Boy instead of a $250,000 deal with Dr. Dre.
How many albums was that?
The Tommy Boy deal?
Yeah.
I think it was five albums.
5 albums.
I think
Is that a big mistake?
That's what was standard. Was it a big mistake? I don't know if I can say because
you brought it up in comparison. It's almost like there's a slight little regret or
No,
overthinking.
it's not a regret, but looking at it in retrospect, with the wisdom that I have now from experience, it wasn't the best business decision.
Right.
But it's hard to say.
What would have been?
Yeah, what I would have did with Dre, because I still would have been that same naive kid. Now, even with a greater opportunity, that's one fact, that the opportunity was greater with Dre. That's a fact. We can't dispute that.
Right.
But everything else would just be speculation. You know, I don't know how I would have handled it because I ended up losing the Tommy Boy deal. You know what I mean? Like I ended up, I think they dropped me. Then I went to Sony. I did another deal. Album got leaked. I ended up sitting for a minute, asking for a release, and then they let me go. All of these things were just due to my, my immaturity, inexperience, partying.
Don't kick yourself
crazy.
Don't kick yourself too bad. Sticky Finger sat right there, and he said he for extra 250,000, I think it was.
200, 800 to $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 300. He took the 800,000 instead of the $500,000 he could have got to be on Aftermath.
Well, here's the kicker. I'm not kicking myself at all. I'm actually looking at it like I feel like Dre was supposed to advise me. You know, now let me be clear. I don't harbor any resentment toward Dre. Me and Dre are super cool.
Right.
I think I understand his position. You got this young kid who you invited out to Cali to kind of help out. This is when he was working on the Chronic, and this was coming off of that Aftermath album that people kind of didn't like, and that was like the first thing that he did that people didn't like.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, and then he also had the split with Suge, and people were kind of counting him out. You know what I mean? So the fact that even though I went to him and asked him, I told him the situation, and I asked him, what should I do? And he told me, he's like, yo, you should take that. You're not gonna get that nowhere else. I'm gonna rock with you regardless, you know? And it didn't pan out that way to me. You know what I mean? And I feel like he may have felt the way just for the fact that I was entertaining.
That you asked him.
Yeah, that I was even entertaining it. So I can understand it from his side, but from my side.
Well, was it a play to see if he was gonna ante up?
No.
Not at all.
No, I wanted to know what he thought I should do, you know? Because all I was hearing was $1 million.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, people don't know everybody's situation. That could have been life-changing for your family. And if you felt like the money he was offering wasn't that, then who was he to tell you don't take that?
Who is he to tell me? Somebody who...
Yeah, he's a legend. I'll be like, don't take that money, young boy. Stay with me.
Somebody who knows exactly what he was about to send me over there to do. He knew. You know? He knew, but it was kind of like, okay. Most of the time in this business, we kind of let each other. I'm gonna let you hang yourself.
That's all business.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you hang yourself. But I really feel like the mentorship aspect of it is a thing that needs to be more present, man. You know, because what I did was I went over to Tommy Boy. I had this white A&R named Max, and they were courting me over there. And now, mind you, I had already been over to Tommy Boy to do a meeting along with damn near every other label on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And I played all of them the same music, and Tommy Boy passed on it. But once they found out I was out there working with Dre and Marshall, they immediately wanted to meet with me again. And when I went back out there, I played them the exact same music, and they acted like it was the greatest shit that they ever heard.
They're gonna kill you for that straw, by the way.
Yeah. So when sorry about that. So when they recorded me, he was taking me to the strip club. You know what I'm saying? Like buying me all kind of liquor and shit. You know what I mean? Basically, just feeding the addiction that I was already genetically probably predisposed to.
Right.
You know, so I think the Dre's, the Puffs, the Master P's, the Sugs are the ones who can step in and say, all right, Mr. White Man, is this where you would take your son to be courted? Would you want your son to be courted here? This is where the Dre's, the Puffs, the Hoves say, nah, that's not a good decision.
Right.
You stay here. You don't do a record deal to make money. You do a record deal so you can begin to start building you. You can build you over here because we're building a dynasty over here. You already attached to Marshall. I already got this plan for you, that plan for you. Don't worry about money. You know what I mean? You go over there just for the money and you're gonna get what comes with that. And that's exactly what I did. You know what I mean? So.
Well, is that option still open?
What option?
For you to work with Dre freely.
I mean, I've worked with him over the years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just on his stuff. Anytime I call Dre to ask him for like a beat or something, it's like, let me hear what you're working on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, I called him. Remember when we did Total Slaughter?
Yeah.
I called him and asked him to do a drop on his phone. It took him 2 months, and guess what he sent me?
What?
A whole commercial, produced commercial, because that's how he thinks. He doesn't think small scale.
He thinks of a movie. Mm-hmm. Everything for him is a movie.
Is it possible that when you did step to him, he saw the immaturity? He saw like maybe this is too big of a project for me to take on, as far as not what you would do musically, but what you would do personality-wise.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we could speculate. We could speculate many things. You know what I mean? But you know how a lot of artists and a lot of fans kind of hold the Dre's, the Puffs, the Hoes to a different standard than they do regular labels.
Right.
They're okay.
But that
with
came in
regular,
time.
Yeah,
At that time,
yeah.
it was I don't know, because this Aftermath joint drop, people ain't really feeling it. I got a roster of people that was on that's not really, you know what I mean? So at that time, it was still questionable. Yeah. I think after the M's, Dre was already who he was, but
look at it like
got
this.
established after.
Look at it like this. I would have jumped off a bridge if he'd have told me to. Put it like that.
Did he know that?
He, of course he knew that, but Dre did the same thing with me, Yummy, and Rock. Like, he offered us a deal and wanted us to go right to the back room with Mike Lynn and sign it. And all I did to Dre was say, Cash Money wanted to give us a deal, and we met with them personally. I just want to go, because they're in the street at this time.
Right.
I said, I just want to fly back home.
This is taking over for the 9-9
Yeah. I just want to fly back home, and I want to just tell them face to face, I'm rocking with Dr. Dre.
Right.
Mike Lynn never picked my call up ever again, because I left. Like, he played the way he played. Once Royce said, because I talked to them, I feel like that he didn't really rock with that. He did that same thing to us, my dude. And I didn't get it because we was young too, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And once I got home and they wasn't picking up the phone call no more, I said, oh shit, I lost this deal with the greatest producer of all time.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I lost the deal. And it wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't because I was wilding or nothing like that. It was just that I wanted to keep business straight with other people who we talk to.
They have that same responsibility and that same weight on the other side too. The same way that they have the power to tell an artist, hey, jump off a bridge and you'll do it. They also take blame and criticism that, like you said, Hove, Puff. Mm-hmm. When an album flops, somebody will turn around and go, Atlantic fucked up my record. Mm-hmm. If you sign with Diddy, you go, Diddy fucked up.
Diddy fucked
me over. He did me.
They take all the blame.
They do.
Meanwhile, the dude who's Leah Cohen could be standing right next to you. you wouldn't even know it was him unless you knew that that's Leo
Leo
Cohen.
Cohen,
He'll
right.
just be standing there, but let Hove be standing next to you. You see what I'm saying? Those
Right.
bullets land different when you place in the blame. It's just a different thing. I can understand. With that said, I can understand why if you were perceived to be a headache, or you were perceived to be immature, mentoring you at that time might. I don't have the bandwidth to take on what this kid's gonna bring.
It's Hoffa. Trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.